Hi, everyone. Welcome to Golden Tulip, the home for our final vlog of the year. This is really going to be one long sitting of me just recapping what 2024 has been like and just sharing what the good, maybe the not so good that I've learned over the year. And that's how we'll wrap 2024 as we wait for the great things that God has in store for us for 2025, because you plan and then God says, so I know so. So yeah, it's all up to God. For me to kind of organize my thoughts, I'm going to just start with the start of the year where my mind was, because I did return to YouTube this year. So I need to tell you just where my mind was. I know I've given bits and pieces of the transition, but I was thinking about it the other day and saying that a lot of who I have become, it looks like I've sprouted too quickly. It looks like a lot has happened too quickly for me. But I look back and I feel like the change, the actual change, I think happened when I was confused, when I was crying, when I was depressed, when I didn't really see the best in life. I feel like that's where change actually starts to happen. The day you wake up and start telling yourself, I'm not happy. Something is just not happening. Something is not right. I need something to change. That's a good day because you're uncomfortable with the status quo. And I was thinking back to when I actually believe the Flavia today started to be molded. And I remember it was probably my depressive points, maybe like 4 years ago, like proper depression where you're just like, man, what's life about? And even now, in hindsight, I ask myself, what was the depression about? It was just about life, not being able to handle life. I know that might sound like a weakness, but now it's a strength. I don't think I was equipped to handle life. I wasn't equipped to handle success. I wasn't equipped to handle failures. Just the other day, I was telling myself, can you believe you used to get so much anxiety when there'd be a bad day? Like when someone wasn't happy with me or things didn't go the right way, I'd have so much anxiety. I would try to fix it. I would try to apologize. I would try to make good. I would overcompensate because I just have anxiety, because I'd want everything to always be perfect. I'd want people to always be happy. I'd want everyone around me to just think good thoughts of me, to just everything nice, because it shouldn't break. And that is because you're not equipped to handle failure. You've not been taught to accept that failure is part of life. And that was me, because a lot of my life, I had never taken stock. I had never stopped to reflect on what life really is. And also I had really enjoyed a lot of good things in life. By good things, I mean a lot of yes people in my life, people who just think the world of you. And so they'll say, you're nice, you're beautiful, you're perfect, you're intelligent, you're all those nice things. And so you don't necessarily hear the Flavia, that's wrong. Flavia, that's not how you should have spoken to that person. Flavia, that's not how you should have handled that. When you don't hear a lot of that, you tend to think that the world is always on the good, or you are perfect, or you shouldn't be critiqued. And so I would take criticism badly, or I would think less of you if you criticized me. And so I feel like that is what eventually burst. And I got depressed because I was like, oh my God, life isn't as perfect as I thought it was. And so all those things a few years ago are what led me to eventually get introspection and start to think about, Flavia, who are you? Who are you beyond your career? Who are you beyond a marriage or a relationship? Who are you beyond your friends? Who are you beyond money? Who are you beyond all of those accolades? Who are you beyond likes on Instagram and YouTube? And that 4 or 5 years ago, that conversation with myself is what has led to the Flavia that has looked organized in the last couple of years. And I'm not ashamed to say when I was wrong, because we've grown, right? So I have deeply accepted that the Flavia I am today has been made over time. Like every time I have a bad day, quote unquote, I think about the times when I'd be on the floor in my room just crying, just crying. My friend that was reminding me, you wipe your tears and then pause, why was I crying? And you just don't have a real reason, but you're just unhappy because things are not going a certain way, But anyway, to veer you, let's move out of that. I've learned a couple of things. I'm going to start with people. What has life taught me about people? very many things. But the first thing is that, obvious, people are not perfect, which means you're not perfect. I used to really hold people in high regard, and I'd have very high expectations of people. Let's start from strangers. When I'd meet people, I'd act a certain way towards people and have automatic expectation. Because I've been professional towards you, please be professional. Because I've been polite, please be polite. Because I've been kind, please be kind. And that is expecting the world and people to all be the same. And I'd always find an issue. So life has taught me that even when you give kindness, you will definitely not always get kindness back. Even when I'll tell you, a friend of mine told me, not even a friend, actually, a cousin, Jayla, was telling me to talk about black tax. We're Africans. You come from a place where when you make some money and you have people around you, family especially, you give back. Somebody needs to go to school. Someone needs medical bills, someone's always needing money. Contribute to a wedding, contribute to something. And I think I went through a couple of years of my life where that black tax was part of my life, and I'd always give until I had nothing, to a point where you haven't bought yourself a new bag, let's say, a handbag. You're repeating a handbag, but you've made money, but it's because other people needed the money. I can't look at someone not go to school when, why would I buy a pair of shoes when somebody needed that exact money for hospital? Or why you tell yourself all of these things, right? And because of that, you realize that you tell yourself, first of all, that I'm doing this for that kindness will come back to me. And one day I woke up and I realized years later, it's the exact hands I was feeding that were chaperoning me. The exact people that I was showing kindness were the ones who were showing me the bad. The strangers who I had never met, had never done anything for, had never shown any kindness, had never even had 2 minutes of a conversation with, are the people who would always be there for me, would always bail me out when I needed something, would always have a heart-to-heart. The people I had done so much for are the people who would stand in public and shame you and say all sorts of things about you and have envy towards you. And I said, oh my word, it's not obvious. It's not obvious. People are not obvious. Life is not obvious. It doesn't mean that what you give is what you get. That's not how people work. And it took me a while because I went through the phase where once I learned that, then I became very angry towards people. How could I have been so kind and you're not? How could you not appreciate? Then you go through that anger, you block people. I am that chick. You say, I'll never talk to you. I hate you. I blacklist you. Blah, blah, blah. Some of those are your real family members. Some of them are siblings. Some of it's your parents. Yeah, I have friends who've had to literally detach from their mothers, their fathers, and it's painful. But now I came from that anger to understanding that it's okay. People are just uniquely different. And I think how I describe it is boundaries. So I have learned how to have boundaries with people. Okay? And when you want to set boundaries, friends, what this year has taught me is that you start with yourself. Set boundaries with yourself first. I had to tell myself, Flavia, you're giving because you have a God complex. You want to be a savior. Not because you have. You understand? If you don't have. So first, take care of yourself. Stop trying to get the hero mentality out there. Stop trying to hope that somebody will say, oh, but Flavia is so nice. She's so kind. She came through. No. First, fix you. If you have boundaries, you make the money, have boundaries about it. And say, if I make X amount of money, this is going towards my dreams. This is going towards this is going my savings. This is going to me. And then you have kindness. If you can't set boundaries on your own self, you're not going to start setting the same boundaries on somebody else. Now you're blaming somebody you've been kind to. They didn't know that that's all you had. Why did you give me all the money you had? You know what I mean? So set the boundaries first with yourself. And I want to talk about money because Instagram people are like, please talk about money. Just what have you learned about money? I'm going to surprise you. The one most important thing I've learned about money is that it's easy to make. I know. The many years I have come and taught you about finances, about personal finance, it took me until this year to learn that money is very, very easy to make. I will wake up And my problem is that everything else except money. So making the money is very easy. I think it's the point of multiplying the money or making the money make money that becomes rough. For many years, I taught about personal finance because I felt like money empowers you. Not felt like, I know that money empowers you, whether you're a woman or a man. And so it's important that you have some sort of financial freedom to help you make certain decisions, whether it's in the family, whether it's for yourself, get out of trouble, you need financial freedom. But I also realized, and I want to apologize, because when we come and talk to you about personal finance and how to multiply money, you must be making money to multiply it. You must be making money to save it. You must be making money to invest it. So for me, I feel like if you could scratch everything, this year has taught me, and I'm going to use the analogy of maybe you're talking to God and God says, I want to bless you. Give me open the hands where I can bless you from. You understand? If you want me to put money, where's the bag that I'll put money in? So then the hands or the bag becomes a representation of a business or a job or a skill set that you have where God can funnel, if you believe in God, God can funnel the money through. When I wasn't making as much money, it's because probably I was doing only one thing or I was skilled at only one thing. I didn't have business going. Even when I had business going, I didn't understand how that worked. So I find that the people you see who are blessed, quote unquote, in a certain way of making money, you're giving them money in a certain way. So either they have a business or they have a skill they're exchanging or something. Nobody's just sitting there and money is just flowing like manna from heaven. No. So there's something they're exchanging. So for me, the trick that I've learned is that I have to always open avenues, which is why they call them income streams. You open a stream where money can flow through. If you can master that, now next year, we'll come and tell you how to now proper save it. But let's have you make it first. So when I said, okay, how can I make money? What are my 7 income streams? If money was to come to me today, what would it be for? Once I answered that, the money was easy to make. So even you where you're sitting, if money was to come to you today, you want X amount of money, it's going to come to you for what? What will you exchange for that? And I'm not going to judge you. We listen, we don't judge. Because some of you have your own ways of making money. I'm not going to be in that conversation. But that's really the premise of it. You must give something in exchange for the world to give you the money. And for me, that has been the game changer. Money is easy to make. In fact, next year, the biggest hurdle to now go over is how to maintain it and multiply it. And that's probably going to be the biggest conversations that I'm going to have with you here on my YouTube channel around money. How to multiply it, how to maintain it. But making it, just answer that question. Money is coming to me today. What am I exchanging for it to come to me? And then perfect that. So for me, when I said I'll be a moderator, I'll be an MC, I'll be a consultant for women and gender issues, I perfect those skill sets for then money to flow to me. And let me tell you, it will. It does. Okay? The second item or thing that made money for me was the networking. People, you'll be surprised who is in these rooms putting your name up. They ask, who can do this? And you'd be surprised in that room who says, but Flavia can. You know? So network. If you've missed my vlog about networking, let me tell you how you network. Just keep documenting and telling people what you do. Everyone. Because you never really know who's going to be in that room saying something for you. People have to know what you do. Become an expert. Become well known at that thing, whatever it is. So the next time we're looking for a plumber, we know you're the one. Because we'll only look, when we don't want to think too hard. We'll just, even online now, if you're on social media, we need to know what you do. And that way, people can always put you top of mind. Let's now talk about parenting, because I sang the song about being a mom so much this year when I came back to YouTube. I wouldn't leave without discussing that. The twins are now 1 year and 7 months, thereabout. And I was thinking how now when I say that I'm able to go back to some semblance of work, it's because they're out of the woods, but not yet fully. I mean, they still need their mother, both parents anyway, but there's certain opportunities I won't be able to take. So I pace myself because I know they need me, they need to see me, I need to be visible, and I need to be active in their lives and intentional. So motherhood has been very rewarding. This year, I feel like I can't imagine what my life was before my kids. And yet I spent so many of these mothering years saying, I want my life back. This year alone, with just that acceptance, I don't remember. I don't remember what my life was when I didn't have to decide for the kids or figure out what life would be for the kids or what a weekend is for the kids. So I've become that person, which is fine, which is okay. But you get into a room and you say, I'm a mother of 3, and there's that, that shock. But it's the work. It takes the work behind the scenes to do it. It takes a lot of work to raise children, raise good children. So it's not easy, but it's very rewarding. What do I find rewarding about motherhood? For me, it's the fact that I'm doing it because I want to. For you shoot, let me explain it. It's easy to be a mom in this generation, and even when I am home, to have a lot of support. I remember when I chose for the support to be away for certain days and I'd fully be with the kids, I remember thinking, I'm going to go mad. I'm going to go crazy. And you do go crazy at some point, but it's the idea that I am choosing to intentionally be your parent. Yeah? I'm choosing to intentionally listen to you. When Liam speaks to me, I choose to listen. I choose to hear his opinion. I choose to let him be who he wants to be. And it doesn't feel like I have been forced to be a mom. It doesn't feel like I am doing it because I must, or it's something to tick off the. It feels like every day the kids choose me and I choose them. It has gotten to that sweet spot, you know? And also, I'm going to be honest, the one way to get there is to learn how to be selfish. There are points when I have support for the children and I'm supposed to enter the room and sleep. And I switch off the mom guilt and I'm like, if I sleep, if mommy sleeps, if mommy is happy, we're all happy. So sometimes, I promise you, I don't even think my husband knows this. Sometimes I'm at the door and I can hear them crying. And now my kids are at a point where they can call you, Mommy, come. Mama. They go through the phases. Mommy, Mama, Mom. And I'm at the door like, do I open? Do I not open? Do I open? Do I not open? Do I go out? My children need me. After I fight at the door with myself, I enter the bed and I sleep. I've had to train myself to be selfish. You remember the boundaries talked about? I've had to tell myself, it's okay. My children need me, but I'm not the only one they need. I'm not the be-all and end-all for my children. I'm just their mother. It's okay. Guys, that fight has been real, but it's beautiful. Because when I'm rested and I open that door and I go back to my kids, I go back to them 100%. I am not with them, but also texting, but also on TikTok, but I'm with them. We roll in the mud, we play, we cry, we paint, we run around, because my cup is full. So when I say I choose, it's because of that. It's because I've filled this cup fully. I'm doing this content because it satisfies me. It's content that impacts young women, young men, my generation. It satisfies mommy. So when I leave home on a Saturday to come shoot content, it's for mommy. Whether you cry, mommy, no. When I return, my cup will be full. And those things of judgment, we leave them outside, okay? I fill my cup and then I choose to be a mom and wholeheartedly, intentionally be a mom. Most of us women, I know it's hard for you to choose yourself, but try. And yours doesn't even have to be the content on YouTube. Yours doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 job. Yours doesn't have to be, I don't even know. You know, you don't have to be a CEO to say, I choose me. No, but it's the small things. It's taking an hour for yourself. Moms, we don't even know how to drink a cup of tea and finish the tea. Honestly, you sip a bit, then you put it down, then you go. Give yourself the reward of sitting in a chair like a normal human being, grabbing the full hot cup of tea, taking it, finishing the cup, and then going back to your kids. Do you see what I mean? Savor that you are a human being first. Okay? Don't say, but you know, my children are still young. Friend, they're always going to be young. I'm still a baby to my mother, so I can imagine the stress she has. My mother's now a grandmother. She's almost gone back to the circle of being a mother. So you never rest. So if I were you, I'd learn to quickly fill my cup, however small, however big that I can, because that has been so beautiful for me. This has been such a rewarding year. It's been such a beautiful year. It's been a deep year. It's been a year of learnings, a year of very many no's. You know, as many yeses as I've said no many, many times. I've said no when it fulfills something for me. I've said no when it's not yet time. You know, sometimes opportunities are good, but they're for like 2 years to come when your kids are like 5. So there's been a lot of no's. So don't look at the yeses and just say that's all life has been. I may come to you here and as I speak, you're like, I wish I was at a point where Flavia is. I wish I was at a point of joy and happiness where Flavia is. But you don't know if I was crumbling last night. You don't know if 2 hours ago I was a mess. You don't know if I had to wipe tears to come in front of the camera. Not all that glitters is gold, and that's a good thing. It means we're all human. Okay? So good days are there to show you that there can be bad days. Bad days are there to show you what the quality of a good day should be. Because every time you fall, you're like, I'm not going back here again. It's like shoes. You wear shoes and you're walking, you're like, this is so uncomfortable. I'm not wearing those again. You wouldn't have known if you didn't wear them. If I keep telling you the shoes are uncomfortable, it won't make sense to you. It's after you wear them and you're like, my feet. So that's how life is. The bad day comes to remind you what to crave for in a good day. So don't let anyone pressurize you in what should have been or what could have been. The year was perfect to your season. And as we go into next year, my wish for you is that you've learned how to live in every season wholeheartedly and fully. Don't let the season wash you and take you with it. It's possible. You know, sometimes the season comes and you're like, I am holding on for my dear life. Hold on. It will come. It will go. Okay? But hold on. Every season is different. It's supposed to make you different. Focus on the lesson it's trying to teach you. Focus on the good because it is there. You know how they say, I cast the shoes on my feet until I saw a man with no feet. Yeah. There's something to be grateful for. I don't like my shoes. He doesn't have feet. He can't even have a conversation about shoes. So there's something in your life that is going right. If you can end this year celebrating that, even if it's one thing, the fact that you are breathing, that's it. The next year when we come back, now we have more reason to celebrate, okay? I know I've not given you so much content to end the year, but I hope that these little sharings of what my life has been are enough to help you feel like it's okay. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Mwah.